Hello students, we have to start our second lesson of second paper. It's about the life processes in a living organisms part first. So just whenever you have to see about the life processes, we have to just see those processes which are common in all living organisms. That processes are called as the life processes, and that's life processes just you have to see from our 5th standard up to now. But here in 10th standard, that's life processes are just divided into two parts as a second lesson and the third lesson, means the part first and part second. So when you have to just peep into past about the life processes that we had to be seen in our previous standard, in that some of the questions we have to see. Again we have to revise that all the questions. First question that's given here, it's about how are the foodstuffs and their nutrient contents useful for the body. But when you have to answer that question, we have to see about the foodstuffs and what are the nutrients present in that foodstuffs. The foodstuffs containing the different types of nutrients such as carbohydrates, proteins, fats, minerals and vitamins. That's all are the nutrients, and that's all nutrients are useful for our body. It means whenever you have to eat the foodstuffs, we have to get that's all the nutrients, and that's all the nutrients are important for our growth and for our development. It means that the foodstuffs that we eat, it's necessary for everyone's growth and development. Second, one more question that we see, what is the importance of balanced diet for the body? Second question is to be given, what is the importance of balanced diet in the body? So what is meant by the balanced diet is, balanced diet means that diet which containing all the nutrients like that of the carbohydrates, proteins, fats, minerals and vitamins in a right proportion. Then the diet is called as a balanced diet, and that balanced diet provides us energy as well as nutrition. That's balanced diet which provides us nutrition and energy for us. One more question that's given here, which different functions are performed by the muscles in the body? Muscles which are present in our body, that muscles are of different types. Either may be the voluntary muscles as well as involuntary muscles, and one more that we know about which are present around our heart, that's called as the cardiac muscles. So that's muscles what perform the function. Those muscles which is called as the voluntary muscles, that's voluntary muscles perform the voluntary actions. At the same time, the involuntary muscles perform the involuntary actions, and that's cardiac muscles perform or just helps in the functioning of the heart. Next, one more question, what is the importance of digestive juices in digestive system? Again, when you just consider about our digestive system, that digestive system is to be made up of different organs such as mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, along with some of the digestive glands. That's digestive glands such as salivary glands, gastric glands, liver and pancreas. And that's different digestive glands secretes different digestive juices. So here the question is to be asked for us, what is the function of that digestive juices in our digestive system? Means whenever the foodstuffs that passes from one organ to the next organ, that's time secreted digestive juices by the different digestive glands. They help in the proper functioning or in the proper digestion of the food in the digestive system. Means just like that we know about salivary glands secretes the saliva which helps to make the food soft and just pushes into the esophagus. At the same time, next one more digestive glands called as the gastric glands, it secretes different digestive juices such as the hydrochloric acid, enzyme pepsin and mucus. Digestive juices, that is one of the hydrochloric acid, its help to make the food acidic. At the same time, second one more digestive juice called as a pepsin, it helps to digest the protein. And third one more mucus, that's mucus, it just protect the inner lining of the stomach from the acid or hydrochloric acid's action. Now one more juice secreted by the liver called as bile juice, that's bile juice. It's also the most important because the food becomes acidic in stomach, and when the food just passes to the next part as for the small intestine, it just becomes alkaline for the next process, and hence the liver secretes the bile juice. That bile juice enters into the small intestine through the common duct called as a gallbladder, and that bile juice makes the food acidic to alkaline. At the same time, one more digestive gland that's called as the pancreas, it secretes the different digestive juices as the trypsin, lipase and pancreatic amylase, and that's all helps in the proper functioning or proper digestion of the food. In this way, that in short we say that all the digestive juices secreted by the different digestive glands, its help in a proper digestion in digestive system. Now one more question that's given here, it is which system is in action for the removal of the waste material in the human body? Again, about this part also we have to study in the last year. The system which helps to remove the waste substances from the human body, that system is called as excretory system. Is a simple question. Next one more, what is the role of circulatory system in energy production? Here is again a question that may be given. What is the role of circulatory system? That's the role of circulatory system in the energy production that's asked for us. So for that we have to just consider about two more systems that's called as a digestive system and respiratory system. From the digestive system, after the digestion of food, glucose is formed, and from the respiratory system, oxygen is carried from the air to the internal organs just like the lungs, and that's oxygen carried by the respiratory system, and glucose which is formed after the digestion of food material in the digestive system, it's carried by the transported system or the circulatory system from the one part to the next part. That means overall for all the body, that means to each and every cell, glucose and oxygen, which is the most important raw material for the energy production, it is carried by the that's the circulatory system to the cell. And as we know, in the cell there is one of the part called as the powerhouse of the cell as a mitochondria. That mitochondria utilizes its oxygen and that's glucose for the energy production. In this way that we say circulatory system perform the function of transportation of raw material required for the energy production. Next one more question is to be given. How are the various processes occurring in human body controlled and in how many ways? Its part also you have to see in the last year. There is control and coordination in our body takes place by the two ways. That's called as a nervous control and chemical control. Nervous control is carried by the nervous system and chemical control is to be carried by endocrine system. Nervous system which is made up of three parts called as the brain, spinal cord and nerves, And endocrine system, it is just that system which is made up of various types of glands. That's the glands which secretes the hormones. In this way, by the two ways, as a chemical control and nervous control, human body is to be controlled and coordinated. So just overall way, as we have to see, that's all the questions. We have to understand that in our previous classes, that's all the part that we studied. Hence, next some of the parts related to the other life processes that we see in this lesson. Now, we have to see which are the concepts that we see in this lesson, as the concepts are: first concept is living organisms and life processes. Second one more concept that we see, living organisms and energy production. Next one more, some nutrients and energy efficiency. And last one, that's the cell division, which is the most important part of the lesson as one of the life process. So one by one, step by step, all that different concept that we study in detail. Now the first concept that we start, it's about the living organisms and the life processes. What is the relation in between them, about us and about our life processes? That's the relation we have to see in this first concept. Now, whenever you have to think about our body, in our body there are the various organ systems, and that organ systems continuously performing their function. As we see about our circulatory system or our respiratory system or maybe the digestive system, they continuously perform their function, and that's along with the organ system, there are some of the other systems or some of the external organs and internal organs are also present, and that external and internal organs are continuously perform their function, and that all the functions either maybe of all the systems or maybe some external and internal organs, they all that functions are in perfect control and coordination. Means here, along with respiratory, digestive, excretory, reproductive, circulatory, other than all systems, some external and some internal organs perform their function in coordination. So here, overall, as we say about that systems and that's all the organs, there is perfect coordination in all the systems in a more or less extent, but there is a complete coordination in all the systems and all the organs. So those all the systems or maybe all the organs which perform their function, but for their proper functioning, that's all the systems and the organs, they require the energy as a continuous source of energy, and that's continuous source of energy which is to be required for that all the systems are the carbohydrates, fats and the lipids are the sources of energy for that all the systems and for that all the organs, and that's all carbohydrates, lipids and fats are utilized or harvested by the mitochondria present in each cell, and energy production takes place. So all these about the energy production, here we have to remember that it's not the same or only the foodstuffs is to be sufficient for energy production. Means not only the carbohydrates, fats and lipids are sufficient for the production of energy, but along with that carbohydrates, fats or lipids, one and the most important part or another one more just component which is necessary for the energy production, and that is oxygen. Means carbohydrates, lipids or fats and oxygen are the raw material which is required for the energy production, and that energy production takes place in the mitochondria, and after energy production it is utilized by different systems and they perform their function in a properly. So in this way that we say that functioning of all the life processes, and last here you have to remember, functioning of that all the life processes, it's require the energy. Means energy production is the most important in all living organisms. Without energy, our body organs, our systems cannot be work properly. And in energy production, we have to require the food that we understand, and that's food which you have to get from the plants. That's plants which are autotrophic. Plants just prepare their own food. Some of the food is to be utilized by the plants. They use that food for the energy production in them. But some of the food they store either maybe in the roots, leaves, fruits and seeds. And that's part of the plants where there is a food storage takes place. That parts are eaten by us or consumed by us, and just after eating that all the parts of the plants in the form of roots, leaves, seeds or fruits, we have to just get the different nutrients. We consume all that parts of the plants and we get the different nutrients. So which are that nutrients that we get from the different parts? That nutrients are carbohydrates, proteins, fats, minerals and vitamins, and that's all we get from the various parts of the plants. Along with that, just all the nutrients that we get, at the same time energy production whenever takes place, that in that energy production oxygen is to be carried by the respiratory system. But here one thing that's again we remember, which are the food sources? Which are the food sources? From that we have to get the carbohydrates. So those food sources from which we have to get the carbohydrates are the milk, fruits, jaggery, cane sugar, vegetables, potatoes, sweet meats, cereals like rice, wheat, jawar, ragi, millet. रागी म्हणजे नाचणी आणि मिलेट म्हणजे बाजरी, स्वीट मीट म्हणजे मळ. So these are the some of the food materials from which we have to get the carbohydrate, which is the main source of energy, which is the main nutrient of energy. And from that carbohydrates we have to get how much amount of energy in calories. So that's the amount of energy which we have to get from the carbohydrates are, it's about the 4 kilocalorie energy that we get from the carbohydrates, which is the main source of the energy production. Now, as the introduction of the lesson that we seen here, let's just study about how the energy production takes place.